Jim, this has been a dismal year for traditional retailers. We've had bankruptcies of big names like Toys R Us. We've had store closings by Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and a long list of others. They've been looking pretty downcast, but it's almost the Christmas season, so they gotta put on a happy face. And the forecasts actually look pretty decent for this year. Most of the experts are saying holiday sales will be up about 4% from last year, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's a little bit ahead of inflation. It's about what's been happening for the last few years. The problem is that retail is divided into two places. Yeah. One is brick and mortar. Those are the ones that are suffering. The other one is online. I mean, forecasts that we're hearing for the increase in online sales are like 20% this year, 3% overall for everybody, 20% for the online people. One forecast, I believe from Deloitte, said that they're going to have 40% of online of Christmas sales are going to be online. 40%.
I haven't seen any figures like that high, but most of them say they'll be approaching 20% of all sales. I guess it depends on what what parts of retail you count. But that's up from it was 12% just about 4 or 5 years ago. So it's taking a big chunk of that. Accounts for a lot of those closed stores out there.
Now this increase in competition is what it is. Could have a good effect on consumers. I've heard some forecasts it'll be much more promotional.
Oh, I think
which
so.
mean more sales.
I think you've seen that for several years.
Oh yeah. And then another effect it's going to have is there are going to be fewer clerks out there. We're already seeing that. Like Walmart isn't going to hire any extra for the season, and part of this is they expect fewer customers, maybe, or not as many.
Yeah, and in fact, the National Retail Federation says that overall, retailers are going to hire about maybe 25,000 fewer temp workers than they did last year.
It's also possible that the ones they hire will not be as experienced, certainly, at this stuff, because a lot of the people who were looking for part-time work, any work they could get a few years ago, now have full-time jobs.
You have the economy. You have the economy doing better, which is part of the reason why people are going to be willing to spend more. It also means there are fewer people willing to take those $10 an hour jobs that only last 6 weeks or so.
So I walk into the Walmart or the Target and I wander around saying, where are the toasters? And there'll be nobody to ask us to where they are. But I might find a sale on the toaster.
Yep, and Walmart and Target have recognized it. Walmart raised its minimum wage to I think $11, and Target is in the process of raising its workers up to $15.
Oh yeah, and I read that the average starting retail wage is now about $12, which is not bad, really. So happy employees, maybe, and happy shoppers, and miserable executives at the brick and mortar stores.
Yeah, because every January we've seen a wave of bankruptcy announcements and store closings, and I think this coming January will be no different. As some retailers will do okay. Amazon will probably do great, but others will fail to meet their targets and just have to pack it in.